Now we will summarize the topic. Composite is a combination of reinforcement and matrix. So next, advantages of composites. So these are having high specific strength. So prior to that, so it is having low density. It means the weight of the component is less. High specific strength. So strength with respect to its weight, and these composites are high in specific stiffness. Stiffness with respect to its weight. Next one is having long fatigue life. Fatigue life and higher fatigue properties. And next, these are having high creep resistance. High creep resistance. So deformation with respect to temperature is none other than the creep resistance. Next one is these are having high corrosion resistance. High corrosion resistance. Along with that, these composites are having high chemical resistance. High chemical resistance, and these are having high impact resistance. So high impact resistance, and these are having high coefficient of thermal expansion. Low thermal coefficient of. These are having low coefficient of thermal expansion. So these are the various properties. Along with that, we discussed that some more. These are having better wear resistance. It means higher or better wear resistance. So these are the various advantages till now what we discussed. So along with this, we are having some more disadvantages. So along with the advantages, we are having disadvantages also. They are the disadvantages. So the composite materials are expensive. So compared to metals or regular materials like metals, ceramics, plastics, these composite materials are expensive. Along with that, the manufacturing methods are also expensive. Manufacturing methods. So along with that, the fabrication or shaping process. So for a material to get a required shape, we are having n number of processes. By means of casting, we can get the same shape what we can get from forging also. So through rolling, forging, as well as casting, by all this manufacturing process, we can get a similar shaped product, but the properties will vary. So compared to regular metal forming process, so shaping of the composites is somewhat difficult compared to metals. So shaping is difficult. So manufacturing is also difficult. So manufacturing, shaping, and one more, the main disadvantage of composites is those are anisotropic. Anisotropic. It means the properties in all the directions are not same. So these are the various advantages and disadvantages of our composites. Today we will discuss about the functionalities of a matrix material. So as we know that a composite is a combination of a matrix material and a reinforcement material. So the matrix is also called as primary phase. Primary phase. The same thing was mentioned here. So this one is the primary phase. So the matrix is also called as the primary phase. So similarly, we are having one more material, that is the reinforcement one. The reinforcement is also called as secondary phase. So this one is called composite. A composite is a combination of a matrix and a reinforcement. Matrix is also called as primary phase. Reinforcement is also called as secondary phase. So now we will discuss about the functionalities of a matrix material. The first one is matrix material is the bulk form of the component of the part. So bulk form. So the major portion. So the major portion of the composite is the matrix material. So hence this one is called the bulk form of the part. So majority of the portion. So already we discussed that if a composite is like this, so some we are having some are reinforcements and the remaining portion is matrix material. The major portion of the composite is the matrix material. So the same thing. So hence that is called primary phase. So it forms the bulk form of the part. Provides the bulk form of the part. The next one is, so the next main functionality of this matrix material is it holds the reinforcement material. So earlier we discussed that composite is one of the example of the composite material. Sorry, concrete is one of the example of composite material. As we know that if we consider this as a pillar, so number of rods, those are surrounded with number of concrete as well as sand particles. So here the major portion of the material is called matrix and these rods, these are reinforcement material, and so this portion is called the rest, the cemented part. Here the cement is matrix. So rods are reinforced. Rods are reinforcement and the cement is matrix material. Here the functionality of cement is to hold the rods in its proper position. So if the cement is not proper, so the rods can move up and down or to and fro. So it will not give good strength if the rods or if the reinforcement are moving, depends upon its nature. So for that purpose we need to hold our reinforcement in its proper position. So if the reinforcement are all the reinforcements are towards a side, then the property of one side is good and the other side is poor. So to avoid that, the functionality of matrix material is to maintain all the reinforcements in its particular position. The same thing here we are discussing. It holds the embedded phase. So already we discussed, here embedded phase is also called as reinforcement. So reinforcement can be called as secondary phase as well as embedded phase. So here it is used to hold the embedded phase together, all together in its original position or in its required position. As we discussed here, if the reinforcement are moving depends upon its nature, then the property will vary. So to maintain its property, we are using matrix material to hold the material in its position. The next one is, so it protects the fibers or the reinforcement from the environment. So as we know that many of the materials are chemically reactive. If they are exposed to nature, it means moisture or some amount of gases that reacts and some amount of slags or some amount of impurities will create on the surface of the component. So to avoid that, the matrix protects the reinforcement. So if you consider the same example, the reinforcement, the rods. So if we expose the rods to the atmosphere, it absorbs moisture and forms ferrous oxide. It means rust. So here the cement is protecting the rods. Similarly, here the matrix material protects the reinforcement. So if we are considering any PMCs, their plastic material protects the fibers, so that it avoids the chemical reaction with the atmosphere or any solvents. So sometimes if we are holding or if we are exposing the component material to some amount of solvents, it may react like acids or bases. So here the matrix material provides the matrix material protects the reinforcement from the environment as well as various solvents. So it protects the from the environment. The next thing is, so here if we are applying loads on the composite, if it is evenly distributed among the reinforcement, then only the component will give better results. So for example, if we are having n number of layers like this, if a load L is acting on this plate, if it is evenly distributed throughout the fibers, then the strength of the composite is high. If it doesn't, so if those matrix is not distributing and it is bearing only one fibers or one reinforcement, so this will break, whereas the other reinforcement materials will not get any loads. If all together are getting the same loads, then the strength of the composite is high. So here the matrix material provides the uniform distribution of loads. So throughout the structure, that is going to provide the uniform loads. So here if it is acting something, so the same amount of load will be passed through the next, so that all together can be high strength. If it is sharing by only one or some portion of the reinforcement materials, then it easily breaks. So you already seen many examples that if the sticks in the olden days, you have learned that if a single stick can be easily broken, whereas a bulk number of sticks together, the breaking of these all sticks will take some more time or some more strength. The same principle is applicable here. If the load is distributed to only some portion of the reinforcement, then it will easily breaks or it will easily damages. If the loads are distributed towards or to the entire portion, then the strength of the composite is high. The same thing like this. So single stick and multiple sticks. So these are the these are the functions of the matrix. So next, for selecting a better matrix, so we require some desired properties. So what are the desired properties of a matrix? So if we select all the materials as matrix, that will not give good results or better properties. So if we decide some properties for a matrix, then only it gives a good property. So let us discuss what are the desired properties. The first one is it should absorb less moisture. So just now we discussed that if the reinforcement is exposed to atmosphere or some amount of solvents, their properties will be reduced. So it depends upon the nature of reinforcement. So if those are exposed to that, or if the reinforcements, if the matrix is having high absorption capacity, so then the moisture will be transferred to the reinforcement also, so that the matrix properties will be reduced. Similarly, the strength of the composite is reduced. So to maintain a good strength of the composite, we require less absorption material as the matrix material. So here less moisture absorption capacity should be less for the matrix material. So the next one is low shrinkage. So low shrinkage. So as we know that, so materials, if they are exposed to temperature, they may expand or contract. So contract is none other than the shrinkage. So here, if we consider a matrix, a composite having a number of these are the reinforcement materials and the remaining portion is the matrix material. So if the matrix material is shrinking or expanding, so it may leads to compression as well as tensile stresses. It may leads to tensile as well as compression stresses on the reinforcement materials. So here, here the black one is the reinforcement, and for this portion we will make this as here the reinforcement is surrounded by matrix material. So here the black one is the reinforcement and the yellow one is the matrix material. Just assume that. So if the matrix material is shrinking, it means it is reducing its size. So the size of the dimension is reducing, so that it leads to some amount of stresses on these fibers. So the fiber and the matrix materials are having different thermal coefficients. So the fibers may expand less compared to matrix. Then the matrix is trending to shrink, but the fibers are not shrinking. Then internally stresses will develop. So due to that stresses, the strength of the composite will be reduced. So to avoid that, we should maintain low shrinkages materials. We should provide low shrinkage materials so that these stresses will not appear on the structure, so that the property will be better. So the next one is good flowing characteristics. So here the matrix material and the reinforcement are available. So if the reinforcement is having good flowability, it moves throughout all the fiber areas. So for example, for the same example, the concrete example, if we are placing number of pillars, if the concrete is moving throughout all the structure, then only the component will be good. If that is having less flowability, so it may leads to voids. So if this is a vessel, or this is the thing, here it is having number of rods like this, and we are pouring the matrix material into this. So along with this, the rods will be, the matrix will be in different positions. If the matrix material, so that is generally the matrix material will be in semi-solid state or liquid state. So that we are pouring the matrix material here. So if it is filled all this portion, and here if it is not filled, then some amount of gap will be formed. That gap is called void. So if the if the matrix is having less flowability, is having good flowability, then it will move throughout all the sections in the composite. So if it is having less, so it will form the solid composite. It means it will easily changes its state, and the composites or the portions will not be covered, so that the strength of the composite will be reduced. For that we require good flowability characteristics. So it means, as you know, that less viscous fluids can easily move, whereas high viscous fluids will be difficult. So similarly, if it is having the matrix material is having good flowable characteristics, then it will move or it will fill all the areas, all the portions of our mold. The next one is, so it should have elastic properties. So our matrix material must be elastic. If it is elastic, then only it can transfer the loads from one portion to the other portion. If that is plastic material, then at that portion itself it breaks. It will not transmit the loads to the next section, from the higher portion to the next one, or the portion which is exposed to the loads. So if it is elastic, as you know that the failure of the elastic is high, the elastic strength. So if it is elastic only, then only the loads will be transferred from one portion to the other portion. For that purpose, we required the elastic nature of the matrix material. So that is, it must be elastic to transfer the loads of the fibers. For transferring the loads of the fibers, we require elastic nature. The next one is reasonable strength. So if all the properties, for these four properties are satisfied and the matrix is not having good strength, then ultimately we are getting a failure component. If we require a good property, as already we discussed that the properties of the matrix material should be the properties of a composite should be far from the matrix materials. So we already discussed that with a 10 GPa example. So the properties of the matrix material and the properties of the reinforcement material both should be less compared to the final composite. Then only we can consider that as a composite material. So it should require a reasonable strength. If these all the characteristics are satisfied, but it is having less strength, then it will not be considered for the matrix material. So these are the common functionalities of a matrix, or common desired properties of a matrix. Next, so these are the properties depends upon the application. So these are dependent of application. So all these, the next coming desired properties are depends upon the application. So earlier those are common for all the things. So now these are depends upon the application. The first one is strength at elevated temperature. So the strength of the matrix should be high at elevated temperatures. Elevated in the sense high temperatures. So many of the composites are having good properties at room temperature, but at elevated temperatures, it means around 1200 degrees or 2300 degrees or 4000, 3000, at that temperature, many of the materials will fail. Similarly, some materials will fail at low temperatures also. That's the example of our Titanic ship. So at low temperatures they fail. So due to that the ship was broken. So next, the strength of the matrix material should be high at elevated temperatures. So that depends upon the application. All the application doesn't require elevated temperatures. So some of the composites can be used at room temperature, whereas some can be used at elevated temperatures, like aerospace or in research space, like that. Those applications, for those applications, high strength at elevated temperatures are required. So the next one is, so excellent chemical react resistance. So the materials should have high chemical resistive. So this again, this is depends upon the application. So all the composite materials are not going to expose to all the chemicals. So only few composites. So wherever it required, these are the desired properties. So at that, if it depends upon the application, these matrix materials should have excellent chemical resistance. Then only the strength of the composite will be high. If it is less resistance to chemicals, it will react with the chemicals, so that the strength of the composite will be reduced. To avoid that, the selection, during the selection of the matrix itself, we should identify this point. The next one is, should be easily processable into desired shape. So we require different shapes. So depends upon the application, we require different shapes. So for all the times we doesn't require a sheet. So sometimes depends upon the application, we require a sheet, sometimes cylinders, sometimes spheres, or sometimes cones, conical sections as well as. So depends upon the application, different shapes can be possible. So here the composite should be easily processable to get the desired shape. As you know that for casting we can produce any shape, almost any shape. So we can produce sheets, or we can produce some convex, concave, as well as some concave or convex shapes. So similar to that, so here the selected matrix material should be easily flowable and that can be easily shapeable into any shape. So that's the desired property. That again depends upon the application. The next one is, it should have high dimensional stability. As you know that many of the materials, if they are exposed to temperatures, their dimensions will be changed. So either it may be contraction or it may be expansion. That depends on the material. So the selected matrix material should have high dimensional stability. So earlier we discussed that if those are having, the matrix material is not stable, it means if it is contracting, then some amount of stresses will be developed on the reinforcement surface, so that it leads to damage of the reinforcement, hence the property of the composite is also reduced. So the dimensional stability is important. It means it should retain its original shape. So due to some amount of material, if it is exposed to temperature, it may contract or expand. Some materials will melt also. So if the matrix material is having the desired shape, the same shape, then the reinforcements will be at its required position, so that the property will be good. If they are moving, then the property will be changed. So these are the desired properties of the matrix. So next, the functionalities of the reinforcement. So the reinforcement is also called as embedded phase or the secondary phase. The one and only function of our reinforcement is to strengthen the matrix material. The same thing. The function is to reinforce. So reinforce is none other than the strengthen. Is to strengthen the primary phase. So this primary phase is called matrix. The function is to strengthen the matrix material. So just now we discussed the various properties as well as functionalities of the matrix metal. Here the main function of our reinforcement is to strengthen the matrix metal. Why? The main loads are exposed to the matrix metal only. So if this is the composite material, the reinforcements will be like this or like this. So the outer portion, it means the material which is exposed to loads, that is matrix material. So if the matrix material is good, then it means the desired having those desired properties, those loads will be transferred to the reinforcement materials. So here the main purpose of the matrix material is to protect the reinforcement, whereas the functionality of reinforcement is to strengthen the matrix. So if it is strengthening the matrix, then the composite will be in good properties. So next, so embedded phase. So it means what are the phases those are available, what are the various reinforcement phases available for a composite material. So just now we discussed that the reinforcement might be in a form, fiber form or a particle form. That will be discussed now. So here the embedded phase is most commonly one of the following phases. So the reinforcement phases will be like a fibers. So here fibers means they are having higher length. The aspect ratio. Aspect ratio, that is L by D ratio, that is L by D. So length to its diameter is high for this fibers. It means for L by D ratio, the aspect ratio of fibers is high. Aspect ratio is none other than the ratio of length to its diameter. So from here to here, that is the length of the fiber and the diameter of the fiber. So the ratio between these two, the length and the diameter, is called aspect ratio. The aspect ratio of the fibers is high. The next phase is particle phase. So the next one is, this one is the particle size. So like this. So these are the various particles. So particles. So here the L by D ratio is nearer to 1. So here this one is the length, and from here to here this is the diameter. So here L by D. So almost both are same. So almost that is nearer to 1. So here for fibers the L by D ratio is nearer to 1. The next one more phase available in this reinforcement is particles. Is flakes. So this one is flakes. So those are the flakes. So the L by D ratio of this is somewhat higher than these particles. So this one is high. So the L by D ratio of these flakes are high than these particles. So if these particles are nearer to spherical shape, whereas these flakes are irregular shape. So the L by D ratio of fibers is high, and the L by D ratio of particles is nearer to 1. It's not exactly 1. So nearer to 1. Almost the L and D are similar. The next one is the flakes. Those L by D ratio is greater than particles. So it means the length is high as well from compared to the diameter. So that the numerator value will be high. So compared to fibers, it is less. But so these flakes, that depends upon the application. We are going to use various reinforcement materials. Along with this, we are having one more material, that is viscous. So viscous are single crystalline materials. So that we will discuss earlier. So in general, so these are the main things. So the main shapes of the reinforcement materials. The fibers which are having higher L by D ratio, and the particles, the L by D ratio is nearer to 1, and the flakes L by D ratio is higher than the particles and less than the fibers. So depends upon the functionality. It means depends upon the property what we are required. Those are the various phases of reinforcement.